Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, we have made like a lot of first time and returning PC Builder mistakes, and we've made tons of them in this build. Welcome back to PC Builder. I'm Jason. This is our Boost My Build series where we take user submitted builds and we tear them up, we put them back together, and we massively increase your performance. And we've got two crazy builds for this episode, including a $1,300 should be the sweet spot for 1440p gaming in 2025, but they are just completely missing the mark. Then we've got a $2,500 4K gaming PC, and they need a monitor, and they're doing just about everything they can to hurt their performance. Let's jump into it. This video is sponsored by Micro Center, America's favorite tech retailer, voted #1 in PC Mag's reader survey, with their newest location opening in Phoenix, Arizona. It's Micro Center's Build, Upgrade, Save event, with amazing PC building deals like this Ryzen 7700X CPU for just $219, or combo it up with this Ryzen 7800X 3D, DDR5 RAM, and ROG Strix motherboard combo for just $569. Become a Micro Center member for free and pick up extra savings on Samsung SSDs like this 2TB 990 Pro for just $149. Check out these deals and more at your local Micro Center using the links in the video description. All right, we got Cody Hobby. Cody's looking for a $1,300 USD budget in the USA, and it's just for the PC. Cody says, hi, I had two laptops before I decided to build a gaming PC. They've always wanted to do it, and now they get to build it. All right, first time PC builder coming from laptop. That's awesome. The PC is going to be used mostly for gaming, potentially some streaming. Okay, that's important to keep in mind. I want 1440p as my monitor, and it's 180 hertz. Sounds like you already got the monitor. Great. As of right now, you're missing the GPU. You're either looking at a 9060 XT 16 gigabyte or an RTX 4070 Super used. What? We have $1,300. I'm a little worried already. Let's see what you got. What is going on with this build? I don't get it. You're at $1,250.38, and yet you don't have a price for that cooler, but it's a $40 cooler at most. So you're basically at your budget. You're basically at $1,300 US, and I just don't get it. I don't get the performance, and I'm having trouble. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. I found it. We're not going to start with the GPU. We'll talk about that GPU in just a second. You got bit by the Corsair virus. You got really funneled into this case. This happens all the time. The Lee 011 dynamic is another one that people just get sucked into, and you just decided you had to have this case, and you didn't realize, number one, that Corsair is phasing this case out. This is the 4000X RGB. You want to pick it up for $157. No, we're not going to do that. You're spending too much of your budget on your PC case. You don't even have a rear fan for it either. That's another kind of mistake there. So we're going to go in a different direction. Yeah, because look at the GPU here. We basically went with the 9060 XT. Great GPU for a lower budget. Insanely good GPU for a lower budget, but for $1,300, this is just not the direction we should have ended up with. For the CPU, we probably went a little overkill here, 7700X. I know it's only $242, not the worst mistake, obviously. I think sometimes when people think streaming, they think, I need a super big CPU. Listen, modern CPUs are very capable, and streaming software has gotten a lot better over the years. It's a lot less CPU intensive than it used to be. Cooler, I like the Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120 SE. It didn't pull a price in, typically $35 to $40. You can get it white. There's even a digital version for $45 if you want to go that route. I like the motherboard, ASUS TUF Gaming B650- Plus Wi-Fi, $160. Insane value for this board as long as you realize you're not going to get a PCIe Gen 5 GPU slot, which I don't think you need, by the way. I still don't think that, but B850s have recently come in at a good price. However, this is a premium motherboard, premium audio and other features for $160, and it is a really, really good price. Oh no, what did we do here? Honestly, anytime any of you add Crucial RAM to your PC build, I want you to take a big time out, because I have seen this so often from Crucial RAM kits. $85 is basically the price you would pay for good RAM without RGB. DDR5 6000 CL36 is an absolute no-no. We're going heavy on the CPU, but then we're going to just bottleneck it with the RAM. It just doesn't make any sense. I like the SSD, Clevcraft C910. I recommend it all the time, 2 terabyte, great budget NVMe SSD. And yes, I do believe you should have 2 terabytes if you're going to do like video editing or streaming or stuff like that. You realize you need some extra space. The PSU is a problem because it's super expensive. We don't need 850 watts. On top of that, I think you got the white one because you want the white cables with it. There's other versions. There's even some 850 watt units that are better rated. This, I believe, is B tier rated and are a lot cheaper. And they also, or we could just go ahead and get cable extensions. All told, $1,250, well, with a cooler, $1,300. Just not seeing the level of performance here. I kind of feel like this is much more like a $1,000-ish build at best. I call this the $1,300 amazing gaming PC because I really think this is a sweet spot PC for both streaming and gaming at $1,300 US. In fact, I finished out $1,304.80. 2 thumbs up there. Borrow the $4.80 from somebody. I didn't want to cut too much. I know you really like some of these components here. In terms of the color choices as well, I just went with kind of a white and black, similar to what you did, but just know all these parts come in both black and white, so you can just interchangeably get the one you want. Let's jump into what else the GPU, because I got, for $599, I got the ASRock Challenger RX 9070 16GB. Originally, I did have the Sapphire Pulse model in here. However, it did just sell out. I will note, this is a $599 one. The next one up is $640. However, this has been continuously in stock for quite some time, so I'm not really worried it's going to go out of stock. Phenomenal performer, 16 gigs of VRAM, also as the 9060 XT has as well. AV1 encoding for all of your streaming needs on it. I just think it's a phenomenal GPU. Now, your other alternative, of course, is the RTX 5070 12 gig. I did see some for $549 earlier this week. It looks like they're sold out at the time of filming. $579 is the cheapest one I can find. There are some other models out there, of course, with promotional gift cards. You buy them for like $650 and then you get promotional gift cards down to a cheaper price. The big difference here is 12 gigs versus 16 gigs of VRAM. I just feel more comfortable long-term with the 16 gigs of VRAM. In terms of performance, this is the Tech Power Up Sapphire RX 9060 XT Pulse review. So it's got the data for all 3 GPUs. You can see 9060 XT Pulse down there at the bottom. It's not terrible. 70 average FPS. It's good for its price. It's great for its price, but we've got a big budget. We should be spending more on our GPU. Look at the 9070 up there and the 5070. They are significantly faster GPUs, significantly more capable. I think you're just gonna have a lot better time at this budget with these kinds of GPUs, and you can expect great FPS at 1440p. All right, let's jump through the rest of the build. I went with the Ryzen 7600X. You certainly could go with a stronger CPU here, but I just ran out of money basically. If I wanted to keep some of your aesthetic options as well, I try to balance those two out. So I went with the 7600X 179, the 9600X, which I kind of wanted to go with. It's $200 right now. I know it was $156 over Prime Day. You can't bring back those sale prices right now though. If you want to go up to the 7700X, if you do want to spend a little extra money, certainly could do that. But this is a very, very capable. I run an entire recording studio basically off the 7600X. I think you're going to do fine with your streaming. Great thing about the 7600X, doesn't require very much cooling. We're going to go with the id cooling SC214XT. I went with a white cooler, although you had a black cooler on the previous one. If you like the black, it's right here. It's the same price basically. And it's all you need to cool it. Looks great and really good on the acoustics. For the RAM, I just got you the correct RAM kit. This is a Patriot Viper Venom DDR5 6000 CL30. I just keep beating this into everybody. DDR5 6000 CL30. Stop trying to save $4 or $5 by getting the wrong RAM kit. Get the right stuff, and 2 thumbs up. Now, your big problem with your PC case, you wanted a very expensive PC case. I just kind of brought us back to earth with something that still has that front intake. I think it still looks very, very cool. This is the Montech XR. It's on sale right now for $67. Usually though, it's not that much. It's usually like $74. Great PC case. 4 included, ARGB fans. You still needed another fan for the case that you were getting. This is gonna look amazing. It's well put together. Montech just did such a great job with his PC case. I think you're gonna love it and get the aesthetic that you're looking for, and you're not gonna break the bank. For the PSU, I tried to find you a cheaper 750 watt unit and then also get a cable extension kit, but it came out to like $100 and something. The Vetru 850 watt, 2 thumbs up. It's B tier rated on the PSU Cultist list, as was the unit you were looking at, but it's significantly cheaper. It's like $50 cheaper, and it does also come with those white cables. So this is really all you need for your build, and it's got the aesthetics that you're looking for. All told, $1,304.80. We're gonna get way more performance out of this. This is gonna absolutely crush 1440p gaming. You're gonna be able to use that AV1 encoding to stream. If you wanna go with the 5070 route instead, you certainly could as well. There's a lot of options in here, and we got the amazing aesthetics that I think you're looking for with that white front intake case. So hope you feel like your build is boosted. All right, we got Falcon MKG. They're looking to do a brand new build in the US for $2,500 USD, but they do want to get a 4K gaming monitor within that budget. So we'll have to figure out the two there. They say, I haven't built a PC in a long time. I wanted to build one primarily for gaming, had to relearn everything because it's been so long, especially since I went with an AMD build. I can kind of feel like you're probably somebody who built Intel in the distant past, like most of us did, because Intel was the thing to build back then. And now they're coming back and like, wow, AMD Ryzen is a thing? right? They're looking for 4K, Cyberpunk, Sons of the Forest. It's like a survival game, very popular survival game, came out last year. Gears of War 5, that's an older game. I think Gears of War 6 is supposed to be coming out soon, right? All right, let's see what you got. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, we have made like a lot of first time and returning PC builder mistakes, and we've made tons of them in this build. So let's start with obviously the budget. You finish at $2,540.13. You're about 40 bucks over your budget. Not that big a deal, right? Let's talk about the monitor, because I think this is actually super influential about where you go with your budget. You want 4K. And the challenge with 4K LCD is it costs almost as much now as 1440p 240 hertz OLED gaming monitors. And there's not this really thin difference between, especially at a $2,500 budget, where we could decide to go 1440p OLED. I would almost urge you to do that. I'm going to stick with 4K here, LCD, but just know that for like another $150 or $200, we could go with a phenomenal OLED panel. So that's just kind of one of the major decision points. Kind of a mistake here. You went with the 7900X TX. Now, originally you had the Tai Chi in here. It's sold out. So I just put in the cheapest current 7900 XT, which is the Phantom Gaming one. The problem is, even at $899, well, it's fine. It's a fine GPU. It's great GPU. If you already own it, don't freak out. It's a great GPU, but there's better values in 2025 now that we got the 9070 XT and we got the 5070 Ti. We don't need to spend $900 for a GPU that does not have FSR4 or DLSS4. Again, if you already own it, it's a great GPU, but in 2025, we got better options. I'm gonna hone in on this PC case here, the Antec C8 ARGB. This case, it's great. It's got 260 millimeter fans on the bottom, giant fans on the bottom, 140 millimeter, but it's really set up for like a dual liquid cooling solution. This is a high-end case for $135. And I'm just worried because the back of it's all mesh. There's nowhere to hide any cable management mistakes here. You also didn't really include as many fans as I would include with a showpiece case like this. So I just kind of feel like I'd love to get you something a little bit more beginner friendly that comes with everything that you need already kind of wired up. CPU 9600X, it's tough because if we want to go 1440p OLED, I probably would end up with the 9600X. But where you're at right now, I don't know why we didn't finish with a 7800X3D as a minimum here. As a minimum CPU, that I really think we should have gotten there. And obviously 9800X3D might be slightly out of our price point. That's why we did release our 7800X3D build guide again. Check it out because it's a really good value, probably the best value high-end gaming CPU right now. I just think we could get there for $2,500. I like the cooler Thermalright Phantom Spirit. If you don't want to go liquid cooling, 2 thumbs up. $37.90. These things are just absolutely amazing. There's a lot of these dual tower coolers now that are basically copying Thermalright. You really can't go wrong with any of them for like 40 bucks. The motherboard, kind of an older one. It's ASRock B650. It's the only B650 that I'm really aware of that actually has a PCIe Gen 5 GPU slot without having an E at the end of the name, a B650E. It was in and out of stock forever. That's why I had a hard time recommending it. It's a good board, but at $189, there may be some better alternatives. Mistake on the RAM. So DDR5 6400 is a big no-no for Ryzen. The reason is, even though DDR4 6400 CL32, it's the same latency basically as DDR5 6000 CL30, the 6400 is too fast. That's too fast for the Ryzen memory controller. It then kicks it in a 2-to-1 ratio, and you will lose performance, especially with a lesser CPU like a 7800X 3D probably wouldn't care as much, but a 9600X might care quite a bit more. You went with a 990 Pro, 2 terabyte. I'll allow it. It's a higher end build. 149 is not a bad price. It's come down in price. And then we also have another extra 4 terabyte UD90. I'm just feeling like this is something we could add later. Do we really need 6 terabytes of storage like right now? Because there are other components we could up that you can't add later. You can't just add more money to your 9600X later to make it a 7800X 3D, whereas we could throw this in later. I like the PSU Value 850 watt unit. I think I just recommended it. 2 thumbs up. We also have a Windows license in here. Obviously, we'll go ahead if you want to go ahead and buy it from Microsoft. 2 thumbs up. We won't talk a lot about that. Obviously, there are some other alternatives out there. $2,540. I just feel like we're just missing the mark on our overall performance here. And a part of it is just we're buying some old parts. We're just making a lot of first time or returning PC builder mistake when you're having to relearn everything, and I get it. I call this the $2,500 amazing 4K gaming PC because you're gonna get amazing performance for $2,500, and I'm super happy with how this came out. Let's jump in here. $2,503.83. Actually came in closer to your budget than you did. So, $3.83 as opposed to 40 bucks over. Haha, there we go. I also think this is just gonna be a better build for a first-time builder. I think this is just gonna be a way better setup for you. Let's start off with the GPU, obviously. Now, I would love to tell you that your top choice here is an RTX 5080, and it should be, but unfortunately the 5080 remains stupidly high priced. So the most realistic GPUs here are the RX 9070 XT. This is the Gigabyte Gaming OC one for $729. If you want a white one, you can also pick one up for $699 over at Newegg. You can check the links down in the video description. I'll leave them all linked there. Obviously, the difference here is 16 gigs of VRAM versus the 24. There's no real difference there. 4K gaming, almost as fast as the XGX, and has FSR4. So 2 thumbs up there. Your other option here is the RTX 5070 Ti, $789. I don't know what happened after Prime Day, but basically, GPU prices just plummeted after Prime Day. We've never seen that before. $789. In fact, they keep almost hitting MSRP. One model keeps coming in and out of stock. So something to check out. These GPUs you can see here, this is the Asus TUF OC RX 9070 XT review by Tech PowerUp. So we got the 5070 Ti, the 7900 XTX, and the 9070 XT TUF version. Basically, is overclocked as the Gigabyte one. So there you go. They are all within spitting distance of each other at 1440p. But you're like, Jason, why am I looking at 1440p? In case you do want to go with that OLED gaming monitor at 1440p. But if you want to stick it out for 4K LCD, which is still fine. I use a 4K LCD all the time. Great monitor. I use the Gigabyte M28U. Again, good performers at 4K. And this is across a wide suite of games at ultra settings. Remember, turn it down to high for gaming, and of course, turn on upscaling because you're gonna have FSR4 or you're gonna have DLSS4, so 2 thumbs up. Jumping through the rest of the build, I wanna start with the PC case because this is something I see people making mistakes on all the time. They get these super complicated PC cases and they don't realize how much cable management it's gonna take, how good they need to be to not see all of the mistakes that they're making. So that was really the problem with the C8 case. That C8 case is really set up for dual liquid coolers where you're like liquid cooling your GPU and your CPU. Let's get you something a lot more beginner friendly. This is the Antec C3, still a great case by Antec. It's got 4 included ARGB fans. They all come pre-wired in the back. You're gonna have a much easier time. And it's solid on the back. You're not gonna be able to see all your cable management mistakes there. So 2 thumbs up because this is a great case for just $89. Now for the CPU, we went with a Ryzen 7800 X3D for $341. I love that AMD has cut the price of this back to where it was. What happened is the 7800 X3D was about this price. The 9800 X3D launch, everybody had to have that CPU. They were buying it for like well over its MSRP. And then of course the 7800 X3D sold out as well because everyone lost their freaking minds. But this is a great positioning between the 9600X, then you jump up to 7800 X3D, and then you jump up with like a 5090 or something, or maybe a 5080 to 9800 X3D. But this is gonna be great. The cooler we got is absolutely adequate. I like your cooler for it. And the good news is this is pretty much gonna squeeze all the performance we need out of those GPUs at 4K. For the motherboard, this is another change I made. I just decided let's invest a little bit more in your motherboard. I really like the Asus ROG Strix B850-A. $232. It's kind of on sale right now. It had come in. $289 was too much for an Asus, by the way. This should be like more like a $230, maybe a $215 motherboard. But it's got upgraded audio. It's actually got a ton of audio capacitors on it by comparison to the ASRock board. You certainly could get the ASRock board. I leaned away from it because I know some people freak out because they had issues with the 9800 X3D, which do appear to have been solved by BIOS updates. Not true of the 7800 X3D. But I figured let's just go big or go home basically on this motherboard. It's got tons of extra features on it. It looks amazing. $232, why not? For the RAM, we just went in and cleaned up your RAM. You want DDR5 6000C L30. Not much more I need to say about that. Just fixing the RAM kit basically, and it's $2 cheaper. I stuck it out with your cooler. I stuck it out with your 6 terabytes of NVMe SSD storage, by the way. If you do want to go to a higher end monitor, I probably would drop either the 4 terabyte or the 2 terabyte. I would drop one of those drives, add them in when you need them in the future. And obviously I stuck it out with your PSU as well, which is perfectly adequate for our build, even with the 7800 X3D. For $2,503.83, you are gonna get an amazingly performative 4K gaming PC, and we've got your monitor there for you, and we've got a beginner-friendly PC case that's gonna look absolutely incredible when you're done with it. I think we got that kind of white and black aesthetic that you're looking for. We upped the motherboard, and of course we upped the 7800X3, and we got you a modern GPU with the 9070 XT or the 5070 Ti. So it'll help you feel like your build is boosted. What did you think of the boost? Did I miss something? Let me know down in the comments what you would have done for each of these builds. And of course, we put out the call for Boost My Build submissions. If you want to submit as well, check our YouTube community page, follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, all the places out there. We also post there as well, and we do it every month, so check that out. If you got value, obviously, out of this video, please give it a like. It makes a huge difference to the channel. And of course, subscribe for more cool PC content. Like, did you check out our very first Boost My Build episode in July? Check it out right here. We go through 2 amazing builds. $650. Is that actually possible in 2025? Check it out, and we'll catch you on the next one.